Secondly, intimacy. So that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith. And the idea of dwelling is the idea of living in your heart. You know, it was so good to get home and sleep in my bed. Man, whoo! And get a hot shower. And shave with warm water. 6 weeks of that not being there. And when Karen Looney picked me up, she said, well, where do you want to eat? I said, I want to go to Jackson. And I want to go to Longhorn. I do not want any beans and rice. I'm telling you, it's different. It is really different. Now, we stay at nice places. We stay in very nice places. But you're not going to get a hot shower. You're not going to shave with hot water. And you are going to get beans and rice for lunch and for the evening meal. It's going to be, I don't care what restaurants you go into. I don't care who's serving you. You can go in the finest house or you can go in the poorest house. You know what's on the menu. And when they bring you your lunch, they bring you a little can, you don't have to open it. You know what's in it. But the intimacy with those people, with Christ, is so real. It is so real. Now, we deal with lost people. You know, many churches are afraid of lost people. Most churches are very much afraid of lost people. We were building a building. I was working alongside 20 men who are recovering drug and alcohol abusers. And their church comes out there, about 40 minutes out, picks them up. They don't do Sunday morning church. There's no Sunday morning church in Brazil. It's all Sunday night. Pick them up, and they're in every Sunday night service. These guys have been mean, addictive, destructive. Many churches not going to welcome people like that. They're not going to do it. I'm going to tell you what they'll do to your church. They will mess up your church. It's better to keep the security lights on and the doors locked. But your church will go down. The church that's not welcoming all people welcomes no people. And our churches have gotten very selective. Even in Southern Baptist circles, there are leaders that say, well now, you know, your church has a profile, and you reach people according to that profile. I said, that is garbage. That's garbage. Hey, you've seen people of all kinds come here. And they better be welcome, right? Amen. The poor, the rich, the wounded, the weary. One Monday night I was out visiting, knocked on a door. It was a very basic house. Very basic house. But they'd visit our church that Sunday. And we had a great visit. Went to another church, and went to another house, probably about $1 million house. And the guy I was visiting with, he said, I feel uncomfortable knocking on this door. I said, well, they knocked on ours. We're going to knock on theirs. There shouldn't be a door in this church, this town, that you wouldn't be willing to knock on. In the name of Jesus. You can't be selective. The idea is intimacy with Christ is the centerpiece of every life that's needed. And we just need to, Christ desires to dwell in every one of your hearts. And He desires to dwell in the heart of every one of your churches. And that's the message of the church. The intimacy We live in a society now with cell phones, and we don't even talk on them. What do? We text. I do. I text more than I talk. I send emails more than I call. We're pulling away from Facebook. I don't like Facebook, and I'm on it. It's very impersonal. And you got to be real careful. Now, I got many birthday greetings yesterday on Facebook, and there's some good things about it. But you want to be careful with that thing. Because before long, you're looking for a relationship out there, if you're not careful, that has no intimacy to it. Can't be touched. It's a person, just I want to be your friend. Well, that's some good things about it. But the intimacy of our culture is kind of pulling away. And I'm going to tell you what. One of the things that I taught down there many pastors on growing some of the principles of church growth. One of the principles that's unbreakable, if you want to grow your church, unbreakable, there has to be intimacy. People have to feel like they belong. As much as my kids feel like they belong to me, people need to feel like they belong. They're a part of it. It's not the pastor's church. It's not the deacon's church. It's our church. And we get that because we have this intimacy with Christ.